Hi everyone, this is Kai Dragon Gardening and Cooking Channel. My name is Ann and I'm a writer and I have several books on Amazon, but today you're in for a special treat. I've been writing some children's stories about things that happen in the garden. So today I'm going to share a story that I wrote with you called Kevin the Giant and the 5 Baby Bunnies. I hope you'll enjoy this, and I hope you will like, share, subscribe, and tell your friends about it. It'll be great entertainment for the kids. Kevin the Giant was a very big guy. He bought a new home and he was so happy with his home. He wanted something different that he could do that would be fun and exciting, but he wasn't sure what to do. He tried many different hobbies, but it just really didn't seem to fit what he wanted. And then he started looking at different things to do. He liked to cook, he liked to eat, and he loved nature. He decided, I'm going to make a garden. So Kevin the Giant started putting garden beds together and having soil brought in, and he made a beautiful garden. He started planting all kinds of seeds, and cabbages, broccoli, carrots, you name it, he planted it. He was so happy. He would sing to himself when he was planting and do little jigs out in the yard. He just was having a great time in his new garden. But he saw Mommy and Daddy Rabbit. Their names were Rhonda and Raleigh. They kept eyeing the garden. He started noticing that his cabbage leaves and broccoli leaves were starting to get eaten when he'd come out in the morning to check the garden. He was starting to get very upset. He wanted the food. He didn't mind if he had to share, but they were destroying the garden. So he called his mother. He said, Mom, I think I have rabbits eating my stuff in the garden. I'm not sure what to do. I said, we'll come and visit and we'll put a fence up around your garden, and that will stop the rabbits from being able to get in there, and you won't have to worry about it anymore. He was all excited. So we built the fence around the garden and put in a gate that had screen on it to protect it so no one could get in the garden. So while he was out planting, he saw Rhonda and Raleigh, and they were in the neighbor's yard close to his garden, and they were checking it out. He started singing this little chant. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-do, I have so many seeds to sow. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-do, if you're in my garden, I'll make stew out of you. He was really not happy with the rabbits. So as he finished planting a new section of the garden, he put some fence around it too. As he built the fence, he sang another little chant, fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-do, so many plants, not sure which way to go. Fiddle-dee-dee, fiddle-dee-do, my garden will be amazing when I get through. Mom and Dad Rabbit were hiding close by. They saw a very stern look in that giant's eye. One night, the giant was out watering in his garden. He heard these loud screams. He didn't know where they were coming from. It almost sounded like a baby crying. He called his mother on the phone. He said, Mom, something is going on in my garden. I keep hearing a baby cry and these loud screams. It's horrible. I don't know what to do. "I can't find it." I said, So he looked around. He couldn't find anything. His thyme had gotten very big and it had started to bend over to where it was really, really thick. As he started to pull back the thyme, he found 5 baby bunnies. The baby bunnies, they all had names. Betty and Bobby, they were very curious. They were always trying to get into trouble. Barbara was quite shy. Benny, he just seemed a little bit sad. And Barry, he just wanted to have fun. Once he discovered the baby bunnies, he wasn't sure what to do. Mom and Dad have a close look from close by in the neighbor's yard, but they knew they couldn't get to their babies anymore because of the fence. Now, baby bunnies can survive after 3 weeks if they're healthy, even though they're still very small. The mother will stay away during the day. She doesn't want to alert predators or enemies where her nest is located. She'll usually return after it's dark outside. However, because of the new fence completely around the garden, she couldn't come inside. All she could do was get close enough to her babies to tell them, "I know you're going to be okay. Just be patient and we'll all be back together again." Well, the giant was so kind-hearted. He didn't want to hurt any of the rabbits. He only wanted to scare the big rabbits so they would stay out of the garden. So he tried to figure out what to do because he knew he was going to have to care for these baby bunnies. Most bunnies are fed a mixture of meadow hay, ryegrass, and alfalfa pellets. Alfalfa hay is really their favorite. It's rich in calcium and protein. It tastes so great to them, especially when they're young babies. They also like the leaves on basil, butter crunch lettuce, broccoli, cilantro, carrot tops, of course, dandelion greens, dill, kale, mint, parsley, rosemary, oregano, and spinach leaves. As a treat, the giant gave the bunnies strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries from his own garden. The giant gave them fresh water in a small saucer several times a day. Sometimes, the giant shared his pieces of apple or bananas with the bunnies. Soon the bunnies were growing up and they were following him all around the garden. The giant sang a new little song. "Fiddle-di-do, fiddle-di-dee, you're my new little family. Fiddle-di-dee, fiddle-di-do, someday back to mama you'll go." As the bunnies hopped around the garden beds, the giant got an idea. He'd been having trouble sleeping because he knew the bunnies needed to be with their dad and mom all along. The giant decided to wait until he saw the big rabbits again and play a game with the bunnies. The next day, Kevin the giant saw Mama Rabbit hiding under a bush in his neighbor's yard. He worked in the garden until really late at night, watering the plants and pulling leaves. The bunnies watched him as they chased each other around the shorter garden beds. Kevin the giant gave the bunnies a treat from one of his melons. He watched with a smile as they devoured the melon. Then he said, "Who wants to play a game in the dark tonight? It's safe because I'll be there with you." The 5 bunnies were excited. "Oh yes," replied Betty and Bobby together. Barbara said, "I will, but only if you're with us." Benny smiled really big and thumped his throat with happiness. Barry yelled, "Yay!" as loud as he could. "All right then, let's go," said Kevin the giant. He began to sing a little tune. Fiddle-di-do, fiddle-di-dee. I love you and you love me. Fiddle-di-dee, fiddle-di-do. We must say goodbye as I let you go. The bunnies kind of looked at him, but the giant Kevin led the bunnies to the neighbor's backyard, where their mother was watching and waiting. Daddy Rabbit hopped out from underneath a bush. He said, "Oh, thank you for what you have done for our children." Mother Rabbit replied, "We will stay out of your garden from now on, Mr. Giant." Kevin the Giant smiled as he waved at all of them. "Sometimes I might leave a treat near the garden gate for everyone who is there. I plant the vegetables for my food, but it's always nice to share." The giant began to sing again, a happy little tune. Fiddle-di-dee, fiddle-di-do, I have so many seeds to sow. Fiddle-di-dee, fiddle-di-dee-do, I'm so happy to know all of you. And from that day on, they were all the very best of friends. I hope you enjoyed that story. I plan on doing a lot more. I like to do children's books and do my own illustrations. It takes time. Gardening is one of my favorite pastimes. I'm really enjoying helping Kai this year with the garden. Like I said, we're new, we're starting out. You have become our friends. You are like a big family to us. We want to pass on our knowledge and experiences to you in hopes that we can all learn from each other and become better gardeners. So please, once again, like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below, tell your friends about us, and share the video with your kids. Hopefully when I get the illustration done, and it will probably take me a while because I'm working on a peacock book right now. I also have a book right now about a little dachshund who couldn't work. She couldn't walk. She got hurt, and then a miracle happened. It's called Taffy's Wonderful Miracle. You can find it on Amazon. It's done in the form of a coloring book, so the children can color the pictures, and then you can read the story to them. Anyway, have fun with that. I appreciate you, and you guys have a blessed day. And thanks for watching Kai Dragon Gardening and Cooking Channel.